Hello everyone, I'm Mahmoud Ramdane, and today I'm going to be presenting my projects for the data management course. My project is called Maison Marocaine Moderne in French, and in English it's the Moroccan Modern House. This house constitutes 75% of the urban landscape in Morocco, and these typologies are growing in an accelerating rate that is almost impossible to trace their evolution. They have a good economical return in investment, so they represent a socio-economical ladder for the middle class population. This is why I thought the best way of documenting this as creating a system that would follow their growth. So for it, we decided to create a think tank that we're actually building from scratch called Maison, which is house in French. So just to let you know a little bit what this looks like, and in history, these are the houses that Moroccans used to live back then in the Medinas, and since the French colonialism came, we had to readapt, and due to Ecochar's grid, it was a gridded system, it created a sort of hybrid architecture that we can see here. For example, small houses of rectangular plots that will adapt to each concept, to each context. For example, this is near the desert, and this is a more eclectic one, dependent on the taste and the taste of the owner, which in this case is really full of symbolism. This image, for example, was taken in a suburban area where we can see the repetitive elements that we can find in these types of homes, and also even in cars sometimes. For a Moroccan middle-class real estate entrepreneur, a Moroccan modern house would be divided into two big parts, which in French we call les gros œuvres et les second œuvres, which is basically the building the structural shell and then doing the interior finishing. The prices are as such in Moroccan dirhams. So right now we know the basics to create a Moroccan modern house. The website I created starts by defining land price. Once you define that, you could change the structural shell price and the interior finishing price depending on your needs. And then you would define a selling price. Normally, the selling price is almost double the land price. In this app, we can change the number of floors, change the depth of the building, and its length. We can also play along with the numbers of facades and the structural span between the structural elements. This app would allow people to know how much they would invest and what is their investment benefit while having the benefit percentage. So to explain a little bit the script, we started by importing and loading the 3GS libraries and the 3DM loader from the URLs. Then we set up the constants and we defined some variables like as the scene, the camera, the renderer, and also those of the numerical values that we would grab from Grasshopper. Then afterwards, we created the scene. We started by creating a camera, then assigning a background color, some materials, assigning the lights, and then running the renderer. And for some animation, I used the function animate and made the rotation in Z for each measure and each line. And that's it. Thank you for following.